Hi, I'm Lars. Welcome back to the shop. Got the blue room going back up. It's getting the beginning of October here in Ohio, and it's starting to cool off a little bit. So that brings me back to the time where I need to talk about this stuff. All right. Now this is the Traveler RV antifreeze that everybody recommends to put in your CNC machine, and it does work. However, I have a big issue with it. One thing I want to tell you guys about this stuff is it does get down to -50. It allows the temperature to go down to -50 before it starts to freeze. And that's a great thing if you own an RV. Now, or you don't live in Ohio. Now, I live in Ohio. It does get cold here. I'm not going to kid anybody. It does get cold. Does it get to -50? It has, but it's very rare. And if it does get to that point where it's going to be down in the temperatures, really cold, I'm pulling my spindle no matter what. Okay, I'm disconnecting it, I'm pulling it off, I'm bringing it in the house where it can stay nice, cozy, and warm and not freeze up. All right. Will I be running my machine out here if it's -50? Probably not. I'm just going to tell you guys right now. If it's -20 out here, if it's -30 out here, -10, 5 degrees. 5 degrees I might be out here, but if it's into the negatives, like 20 or so, I'm not going to be out here. And more than likely that spindle will be pulled and brought in my house, because these things are not cheap, okay? And they're not hard to pull. Now, so one of the problems I have with this RV antifreeze is it lasts for about 3 months, all right? So if I put this in here in October where it's starting to get cold out, down below 32 degrees, and it's not like during the day, this is at night, you know, I'm not out here. No, and I don't want this stuff freezing, expanding, you know, water freezing, expanding, and blowing apart my all the guts inside of the spindle or anything else that I have that has water in it. So I have put this in for 2 years in a row, okay, under the recommendation of the internet, because the internet knows all. Here's the problem I have with it. One thing it says, it's not for use in closed boiler systems and solar collections. It says it right here on the label. All right. Now, why is that? And I think the problem is that if it gets warm, it becomes gummy. All right. And that's the best word I can come up with. I think Susan came up with the word gummy. It's sort of like dried, like a fruit roll up, if you will. Okay, it just kind of dries, it's kind of, you know, just, and it gets stuck in your super cool connectors here. These guys, these super cool connectors, quick connects. I love these things. I think they're great. They really helps when you're trying to put on a nut and this thing's not twisting the tubes all up. I think they're great. However, it doesn't make it through here, and then it gets stuck on the other side. So it's coming in, you know, fluid's coming in, doing whatever. It doesn't make it out because it starts getting gummy. Okay, so it gets all gunked up. Now, you're going to ask, what's the recommendation? You can see it sitting right here. I'm going to do windshield wiper fluid. All right. Now, this is just the original. You can get it so it does go colder, but I think it might happen the same thing as that RV fluid. It might just get gunked up. Now, this will go down to -20. And again, if I'm not out here at -20 and this thing is not running and it's in my house, well, it's probably a good thing, right? So this might happen this winter. I might actually pull it again, because I usually pull it during the winter where it's really freaking cold. The super quick connects, you can come in here, you can disconnect these things like this, boink, they're off, undo your screw, and then undo these two, just loosen them up a little bit and slide this out. Now this thing is heavy, okay? It probably weighs like 20-30 pounds. And I'm not saying it's heavy, like you're not gonna be able to carry it, but it is heavy, so just be careful. That's why I got a stop block here, because it's too heavy for the Z-axis. And no, I'm not gonna buy a new Z-axis just because it's got a different motor on it that turns off. Okay, I'm not gonna buy a new motor for it. This wood block probably cost me, you know, it's a scrap of something. I don't know, maybe cost me a quarter, maybe 50 cents. I don't know. A lot cheaper than buying the other thing. So anywho, that's what I'm trying out this year, and I will let you guys know. But like I said, in order to get these things clean, if you do have this issue, you're going to have to take off these super quick connects. And the last one that I took off broke. And that cost me like 40 bucks to get just the bottom side of it. Okay, because I had the top, but only needed one part of it. So, okay. So you're going to have to take off the super quick connects. The last time I did it was this year. It was this spring. I had to take it off and get all the stuff out because I was getting no fluid going through my system at all. It was just stopping. Now that's not good because the pump, I had to upgrade the pump on the system because the old pump fried. It just died over time. I don't know if it was because this stuff was running through it and it got all gummed up and said goodbye. So I bought another one, went over to Harbor Freight. They had a sale on one that was like 40 times more powerful, and they didn't even carry the other one anymore. It's a fish tank pump, right? So I had to buy a pond pump. Got it all together, and it was pumping just fine through here. Not a problem. However, over last spring, when I came out, just came out one day. I mean, was here one day, it was pumping fine. The next day, it was gummed up. Had to take it back apart, take it in the utility sink, had to take one side of this off so that I could blow water through this side to get it to come back out the other side. Because this is it's a chamber. You gotta get it out somehow, you can't just suck it out. So doing that, a bunch more of the red glunky fruit roll-up stuff hit the walls of the sink and had to scrape it off. But then I just started running water through it for the summer. And that's when I started this. That's what I was doing. I was running water through it. But when I got mine, winter came in and they recommend everybody recommend this RV marine stuff. Now I don't know if they put it in it, run it through it, and shut it down for the entire winter. Or they're in a room that's like warm all the time, or it doesn't get that cold. But like I said, I'm trying this out this year, -20, and I think it should be okay because I've had my cars in Ohio for my entire life. I've never had windshield wiper fluid freeze here, like actually freeze. So again, there are additives you can put in if you want to make it to go, or you can buy another one that will go down to like -30 or something like that. But if you're in Ohio, I don't think it's that big of a deal. If you're in Kentucky, probably wouldn't be that big of a deal either. Start getting up into Michigan and stuff, maybe North Ohio, like Cleveland or something like that, it might get down to that temperature. I don't know. But just check for your area, but I'm going to try this out and then I'll give you guys a review next spring. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this down in here, but I can't even pick it up. Trying to. This is what I'm talking about. It's just this slimy, nasty stuff that ended up being in there. It's like I said, it's like a fruit roll-up, but you can see all the bits and particles that are in here. That's what I'm talking about. So you're going to ask, how did I figure out that the water wasn't flowing? Because you really can't see it. You hear it moving, you see it kind of dripping out the end. How fast does it go? So the reason I knew that we weren't getting anywhere is because I bought one of these little spinner things, which you gotta let the air out of it once you get it in to get it filled up, and then this will be spinning. But it wasn't moving. No matter what I did, it wasn't moving. So that means that there's no water going through, or very little water getting through there. All right. So I'm going to dump out this bucket of glunk, nastiness. I'm going to put these guys in, and then I'll show you that spinner thing spinning around. This is from last year. Now, when you put this hose in, you want to make sure you get it under water. Alright, so make sure you get it buttoned up pretty good. You don't want anything getting in there with it. Any dirt, I should say. Lock it down. Okay. Now, I need to turn it on, hopefully it doesn't explode. See, and that's the concern that I have. Is that the pump's running. I know it's running. I can hear it. It's pumping. I can see blue water, but it's not going through the system. And if I take this off of here and open it up, I should be feeling air or something coming out. But I'm not. So that means that I still got a blockage in my spindle. I don't know if you can see this here, but just me putting that back on there is pushing water up. Into this, and there's little red pieces of fruit roll up through here. So water's getting to here. There's pressure here. It's not getting out, which is concerning to me. Greatly concerning. So I'm going to turn off the pump for a minute. Okay, so we need to disconnect this from the CNC machine. This just comes off of here. And then I need to put this on the back side here because I don't have any way to hold on to it at the moment. I'm going to turn back on the pump. Alright, so we're pushing stuff out. I got blue water coming up. It's coming up around here, and it's finally getting into this bucket. So that got up to that point, which is good. I'll try this one more time and just plug it in and see what we got. Okay, so nothing's moving that direction, so I'm going to pull off the out and the in, and I'm going to switch these around. That seems to have broken something free in there, but as you can see, nothing's coming out. Now we're starting to get particles out again, but it's still gunked up. And all my tubes are clear to go back. But it's not, because there's not enough something going on here. I forgot to put my little spinner cap back on, and I've got red junk all over the floor over here. But it's definitely in the quick connect that it's stuck because we're not getting out. So they're inside of here, they're still gooing it. So I got to take this apart, probably take it back inside, and if I can't get this to move. Like it's starting to flow. I don't know if you can see this or not, but see that big piece of red crap that just went through there? Alright. So there was a blockage inside. I don't know if you caught it on, if I caught it on camera, if I can slow it down and grab it, I will. But it was about that long. Just pushing up and down on the quick connect got it to go. But now you can see blue going everywhere, which is a good thing. Still doesn't mean that it's spinning. This is what you want to see if you have one of these spinners. I'm going to try to get it to turn a little bit so you can see it. You want to see that thing spinning around. Because if it's all blue like this, or all red, or all white, clear, if that's not spinning, you know you got a problem. Now what I'm hoping is that when the spring comes, I'm not going to have the same issue that I did with the RV, that it's going to turn into that like it's like a fruit roll-up. I can't explain it any other way. Now I got a big piece of it's about that big that's sitting in the bottom of my bucket. But I have a pond filter that has vents in it, and it also has a really big sponge that I'm going to end up catching that in there eventually. So I got to keep an eye on this. Maybe a couple weeks come out, see if it made it into it. If it didn't, I need to bring a strainer out and see if I can get that out of there. But as you can see, the blue, hey, I like the blue. Blue's cool. It looks a nice color. The RV stuff was red for about a month, and then it turned clear. And I think it probably about that point, maybe a month, month and a half, when it turned clear, all that red stuff became sledge. Now, I don't know, there's no instruction on it that says, you know, don't run anything, don't do anything with it. It's just about the solar panel, so maybe if it gets a little warm, that's what happens. I have no idea. But like I said, this will be good down to 20 degrees below zero. I'm not going to be out here at 20 degrees below zero because my barn does not have any heat in it, all right? Unless there's something that Susan's like, I really need this cut out. Of course, you know, then I'll be out here cutting something. If you want to see the second part of this video in the spring, like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring the little bell to make sure you get your notifications. There's also a lot of other stuff out here. If this is the first time you're coming to the channel, go look at some of the other videos. There's some stuff on concrete pours, you know, patios, porches, big porches, just in general kind of things to how-to kind of stuff on this channel. I'm really big on pushing DIY and making sure that people either take that step toward being a DIYer, you know, even if it's out there just to save yourself some money. If you're doing some of the, you know, prep work for something, you can save yourself a lot of money. All right, so go check out some other videos. As always, you're always welcome here in the shop or, you know, around the farm or wherever we're doing a video or whatever. And as always, have a nice day.